If you feel broke right now, there is a really good chance you're actually richer than you think. I know that sounds like toxic positivity or some guru nonsense, but the truth is, the habits that make you feel broke are often the exact same habits that are building massive wealth in the background. The problem? You don't know what to look for. And if you can't see your own progress, you're gonna quit right before everything compounds. So here are the 9 signs you're secretly getting rich, even if you feel broke. Coming up in this video, 3 things. First, why feeling broke and actually being broke are completely different and why that gap matters. Second, the 9 signs you're already building wealth even if it does not feel like it. And third, how to know if you're secretly doing way better than you think. So a few years ago, I started working out consistently, 5 days a week, doing everything right. And for the first 2-3 months, nothing. My clothes fit the same, the scale barely moved, I felt completely discouraged, like I was wasting my time. But I kept going. And around month 4, everything just shifted. Suddenly my shirts fit different. People started noticing. But here is what messed with my head. The work I was doing in those first 3 months when I felt like nothing was happening. That was actually when the most important stuff was going on. My body was building the foundation. It was compounding invisibly the entire time. Those first 3 months were not wasted. They were doing the heaviest lifting. Money works exactly the same way. The first $10,000 you save feels like absolutely nothing. You still feel broke, but then $10,000 is doing more work than the next 50,000 will. It's the foundation. Here's what nobody tells you. Wealth grows invisibly first. If you're judging your progress only by how you feel right now, you're going to think nothing is happening. But massive things are happening beneath the surface. So let me show you the 9 signs that real wealth is being built, even when it does not feel like it yet. Okay, so sign number 1 is going to sound completely backwards. But stay with me here. You feel broke. Wait, feeling broke is a good sign. Yes, let me explain. If you're feeling broke right now, but your bills are getting paid, that anxiety you're feeling, that's actually exactly where wealth starts. Here's why. That feeling means you're living below your means and you have not normalized your income yet. And that gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's where all the magic happens. Most people feel rich right after they get a raise. They feel like they have all the extra money. They are on top of the world. But then what happens? Lifestyle inflation kicks in. They upgrade their apartment. They get a nicer car. They start eating out more, buying nicer clothes, going on bigger trips. And within a few months, maybe 6 months, they have completely adjusted to that new income level. And guess what? They feel broke again. They are right back where they started. But if you still feel broke after earning more, that means you have not inflated your lifestyle. You're actually capturing that gap. You're keeping that difference, and that's huge. That feeling broke sensation is actually healthy tension between what you earn and what you spend. It means you're not spending everything you make. It means there is room between your income and your expenses, and that room is where wealth gets built. Here's the thing most people don't understand. The people who will reach are often the ones who are actually in trouble. They're the ones living at their means or even above their means. They feel comfortable. They feel good because they're spending everything that comes in, and probably more than that. They're keeping up with everyone around them. But behind the scenes, they've got no savings, they've got debt piling up, they've got nothing building for the future. Your discomfort is a sign you're doing it right, not wrong. The tension you feel means you're playing a different game than everyone else. And that game is the one that actually builds wealth. But it's not just about paying bills. Here's where it gets interesting. Sign number 2. You're saying no to things you could technically afford. Wait, why would turning down purchases mean I'm getting rich? Here's the thing. There's a massive difference between intentional spending and lifestyle inflation. And when you start saying no to stuff you could afford, that is when you know the shift has happened. You started valuing future you over instant gratification. Look, most people operate on a really simple calculation. Can I afford this? If yes, they buy it. If no, they don't. That's it. But you're running a different calculation now. You're asking, does this move me closer to my goals or further away? Does this actually matter to me, or am I just buying it because I can? Is this going to make my life better, or is it just filling space? The ability to afford something doesn't mean you should buy it. But most people never internalize that. They see the money in their account and they think that's permission to spend it. But you have moved past that. You're thinking bigger. This is the shift from consumer mindset to builder mindset. A consumer sees money as something to spend. A builder sees money as a tool to create more money, more freedom, more options down the road. Every time you say no to the wrong things, you're saying yes to compound growth. You're saying yes to investments. You're saying yes to building an emergency fund. You're saying yes to financial freedom later. And here is what's wild. Delayed gratification is the most underrated wealth building tool that exists. Everyone talks about investing, real estate, side hustles. But the ability to say no to instant gratification, that's the foundation everything else is built on. You can't invest money you have already spent. You can't build wealth if every dollar that comes in goes right back out. You're wielding the most powerful tool there is, and most people never figure out how to use it. And when you start saying no to the wrong things, you start saying yes to something way more powerful. Sign number 3. You have any money automatically going to savings or investing. And before you ask, does the amount even matter if it is small? Yes. Let me tell you why. Automation means you have removed willpower from the equation. The system works without you having to think about it, without you having to make the decision every single time. And that's massive because willpower runs out, motivation fades. But automation just keeps running. It doesn't matter if it's $50 or $500. Seriously, the behavior is what counts here. The fact that you have set it up, the fact that it's happening every month without you touching it, that's the game changer. You have prioritized future you in your actual financial infrastructure. You have built it into the system. Most people rely on leftover money at the end of the month to save or invest. And here's the problem with that. There is no leftover money. There is never leftover money. Something always comes up and expenses pops up. A want turns into a need. By the time the end of the month rolls around, the account is empty. And they tell themselves, next month I will save. Next month will be different, but it never is. You have reversed the equation. You're paying yourself first, and then you're spending what's left. That's how rich people think. That's how wealth gets built. You take care of future you before you take care of the current you's want. And yeah, the amount will grow over time. As you earn more, as you get raises, as you optimize your budget, that $50 become 100, becomes 200. But the system is already in place. You have built the machine. Now it's just time to run. Now this is working even if you can't see it yet. And here is why. Sign number 4. Your net worth is growing, even slowly. Wait, what if I don't even know my net worth? Okay, let me break this down real quick. Net worth is super simple. It's your assets minus your liabilities. That's it. So it's your savings plus your investments minus your debt. If you've got 10,000 in savings, 5,000 invested and 8,000 in debt, your net worth is 7,000. That is the number that actually matters. And here's the thing. Even $100 a month growth is huge. That's $1,200 a year. And over time, with compound interest, with investment growth, that turns into massive wealth. The math is insane once you actually run it out 10, 20, 30 years. Direction matters way more than speed. Are you moving forward or backward? That's the only question that matters in the beginning, because most people's net worth is going backward. Their debt is increasing, they have got no savings. They're spending more than they make. Every month they are further in the hole than they were the month before. But if yours is going up at all, even a little bit, you're ahead of the majority of people. You're winning a game most people don't even know they're playing. Here's the reality. The first $10,000 is the hardest. It feels impossible. It feels like it takes forever. But the first 100,000, that's where it accelerates. Because once you have money, money makes money. $10,000 invested start generating returns. Those returns get invested. It compounds. The second 10,000 comes faster than the first. The 15,000 comes faster than the second. You're in the hardest phase right now. You're grinding through the part where it feels like nothing is happening. And you're still winning. You're still moving forward. That's the entire game. That is literally all you have to do. Keep moving forward. You're standing still, you're moving forward. That's the entire game. But growing net worth doesn't mean anything if you're drowning into one specific thing. Sign number 5. You're paying down debt or you have none. Wait, how is debt payoff the same as getting rich? Let me show you the math, because this is going to change how you think about debt forever. Every dollar of the debt you eliminate is a dollar of net worth gained. It's literally the same math as investing. If you pay off $1,000 of debt, your net worth goes up $1,000. Same as if you invested $1,000, it's the exact same thing on your balance sheet. But here is where it gets even better. Paying off a loan with 6% interest is the same as earning a 6% guaranteed return. And that's better than most investments. The stock market averages around 7 to 10%. But that's not guaranteed. It goes up and down. But debt payoff, that's a guaranteed return equal to whatever interest rate you're paying. You pay off a credit card at 18% interest, that's an 18% guaranteed return. Show me an investment that pays 18% guaranteed. It doesn't exist. When you're debt free, you own your income, all of it. It's not being siphoned away to credit card companies, card loans, student loans. Every dollar you earn is yours to build with. And that's freedom, that's power. And if you're making progress on debt while also saving or investing, you're doing double duty. You're building wealth on both sides of the equation. You're increasing assets and decreasing liabilities at the same time. That's how the net worth explodes. Yeah, explodes. Here's the thing people don't talk about. The freedom that comes from eliminating debt is wealth in itself. No debt means no monthly payments hanging over your head. It means flexibility. It means if you lose your job, you're not scrambling to cover loan payments. It means all your future income is yours to build with, not someone else to collect. You're not just reducing a number, you're buying back your future income. So your numbers are moving in the right direction. But here's what most people miss about their actual financial position. Sign number 6. You have an emergency fund, any amount. What if it's only $1,000? Does it count? Absolutely it counts. Let me tell you why. You have broken the paycheck to paycheck cycle, and that means you're financially ahead of 60% of Americans. Maybe more. Most people are living on the edge. One unexpected expense and they're reaching for a credit card or borrowing money or scrambling to figure out how to cover it. An emergency fund is a buffer between you and financial chaos. It's the difference between an inconvenience and a disaster. Your car breaks down, annoying, but you haven't got to cover it. Medical bill pops up, frustrating, but not devastating. That buffer changed everything. Even $500 or $1,000 means you won't go into debt for a minor emergency. And that is huge because once you go into debt for an emergency, you're not just paying for the emergency, you're paying interest on top of it. You're paying for the car repair for the next 6 months, the next year with interest piling in. But you pay for it once and you're done. This is the difference between fragile and resilient. Fragile means one thing goes wrong and your financial life falls apart. Resilient means you can take a hit and keep moving forward. Most people are fragile. They are one car payment away from credit card debt, one medical bill away from a payday loan, one unexpected expense away from the complete financial chaos. You're not, and that's huge. That's a completely different level of financial security. Now the goal is 3 to 6 months of expenses eventually. That's the full emergency fund. But any amount means you have started, you have built the foundation. You have created a space between you and disaster. And that space gets bigger over time. And you have built a foundation. You're no longer one emergency away from disaster. And once you have that buffer, something shifts in how you make decisions. Sign number 7. You're thinking long term instead of month to month. How do I even know if I'm doing this? Let me tell you exactly what this looks like. You're asking questions about retirement, about investing, about future goals. Your brain has shifted from survival mode to building mode. And that shift is absolutely massive. Most people never make it. Month to month thinking looks like this. How do I make it to the next paycheck? How do I cover this month's bill? What can I afford right now? It's short term, it's reactive, it's just trying to survive. Long term thinking is completely different. It's asking, where will I be in 5 years if I keep doing this? Where will I be in 10 years, 20 years? What does my retirement look like? What kind of life am I building? You're optimizing for future you, not just current you. And here's the thing, this mindset shift is the difference between staying broke and building wealth. People who think month to month stay stuck in the same place forever. They're always just getting by, always just making it work, never actually getting ahead. But when your timeline expands, everything changes. You start making different decisions. You start thinking about compound interest. You start caring about your retirement accounts. You start asking what happens if you invest this money instead of spending it. What does that look like in 10 years, in 30 years? Most people never make this shift. They're stuck in the immediate. They can't see past the next few weeks, the next month. Their entire financial life is just a series of short-term decisions that never add up to anything bigger. But you have already made it. You're thinking in years, in decades. You're playing the long game. And that puts you in rare company. Seriously, most people never get here. Your timeline expanded. That is when wealth becomes inevitable. That shift in thinking leads directly to the next sign. And it's a massive one. Sign number 8. You're investing in yourself, education, skills, health. Wait. Spending money on myself means I'm getting rich? Yes, let me explain why this is one of the most important signs on this entire list. The ROI on skills, knowledge, and health compounds faster than almost any other investments you can make. You're building human capital, and human capital is the foundation of everything else. Think about it like this. A course, a certification, a book that increases your income by even $5,000 a year. That pays for itself forever. You spend $500 on a course, you learn a new skill. That skill gets you a promotion or lets you switch jobs or start a side hustle that makes an extra $5,000 a year. That's a 10 times return in 1 year, and it keeps paying every single year after that. Investing in health now saves you massive money and massive pain later. Poor health is a financial drain. Medical bills, prescriptions, time of work, reduced energy, reduced productivity. It all adds up. But good health is a financial asset. You have more energy to work, to build, to create. You avoid expensive medical problems down the road. You're sharper, you're more focused, you're more capable. And here is what most people miss. Skills are the only investment that can be taken away from you. The stock market can crash, real estate can lose value, your savings can get inflated away. But skills, nobody can take those. They can't be taxed, they can't be inflated, they are yours forever. You're not just saving money, you're increasing your earning power. And increasing your earning power is how you break through income ceilings. It's how you go from making 50,000 to 70,000 to 100,000. You can't save your way to wealth if your income stays flat. But if your income keeps growing because you keep investing in yourself, that's when everything accelerates. This is what separates people who stay stuck from people who break through. You're not just building a portfolio, you're building a better, more valuable version of yourself. And when you invest in yourself, here's what starts happening and nobody talks about. Sign number 9. You're comparing yourself to others as much. Why does this matter financially? Because this might be the biggest sign of all. Comparison is the thief of wealth. Once you stop measuring yourself against other people's highlight reels, you stop making expensive decisions just to keep up, and that changes everything. Most of what looks like wealth is actually debt and financial stress behind the scenes. That's the reality nobody wants to talk about. The person with the brand new car, they might have $50,000 in debt and no savings. The person with the designer wardrobe and the perfect Instagram, they might be living paycheck to paycheck, one emergency away from complete financial collapse. Everyone's showing you the good parts, the new purchase, the vacation, the upgrade. Nobody's showing the credit card statements. Nobody's showing you the stress. Nobody's showing you that they are barely holding it together financially. And when you're comparing yourself to that, you're comparing your reality to someone else's carefully crafted image. You're trying to keep up something that's not even real. But you have stopped playing the game. You have stopped trying to keep up with other people. You have stopped making decisions based on what your friends are doing, what your coworkers are buying, what people on social media are showing off. You're playing your own game now, your goals, your values, your timeline, not theirs. You're making decisions based on what actually matters to you, not what looks good to other people. And that's financially maturity. And that is when you know you have made it to a different level. Most people spend their entire lives chasing what other people have, trying to look successful, trying to keep up. They're running on a treadmill that never stops. They're spending money to impress people they don't even like. But you're free. You're not chasing anyone else's definition for success anymore. You're building your own. And freedom is the whole point of money. That's what it's all for. You're free, and freedom is the whole point of money. So now you know the 9 signs. But here is what you need to know next to actually make this matter. Because you can have every one of these signs, even 2 salaries, and still feel broke. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because there are specific money traps eating your income faster than you can build wealth. So if you want to understand why 2 salaries still keep you broke and how to fix it, watch this video next. I will see you there.